Hey everybody, welcome to DBS Films Podcast. My name is Kel. With me as always is my brother Brendan. Together we make movies with DBS Films. Today's episode we're going into part 2 about how our 11th horror movie, The Forest of Death, is coming out this week. Honestly, it could be out right now. It should be out tomorrow, but you never really know when it comes to the listings on Amazon. But we are ready and we are excited. This episode, we're to basically hop into how we think the launch is going to go. So a little bit of prediction, a little bit of forecasting. As always, be sure to take a look at our Discord channel online. That's the place to be. We make movies for our fans, with our fans. So if you want to be part of the action, part of the process, go ahead and download that. More importantly, though, The Forest of Death is out. Go ahead and buy that, rent that. If it's out tomorrow, please do that as well too, because that is literally going to change the trajectory of DBS film. So in the first episode, we kind of talk about the making process of it. I think we want to devote this episode to just kind of what we expect with the launch, how it's going to go, what it means for DBS in general. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is, I think we feel really confident with the mix of the cover and the title. As mentioned, we always talk about this. You got to split test these because basically the only thing people look at nowadays is the cover. If you don't have a good cover that's catching people's attention, that's catching people's eyes, well, then you're going to have some hard times. Now, you might see some similarities between the past 3 covers that we've had, but with that being said, it is something where, hey, they're the best ones. So you want to talk about the little bit of the mix and our confidence going into just the actual ability of the Forest of Death to catch people's attention, which is super critical.
Yeah, I definitely think that, I could lift my hands up and say, look, we gave this one our best shot. That cover is highly optimized. It is so clickable. I'm actually running the Into the Forest 2 cover art right now, and I throw in all 3 of the Girl in Cabin 13, Murder House, and Forest of Death in there as sort of control variables in the group, and Forest of Death keeps coming out on top. So I know already that is a clickable cover. Whatever you think of the cover, it doesn't matter. People click on it for whatever reason. The title, obviously, it's a heavy metal 70s and 80s horror title. So it kind of lends itself to the cover art. It just looks very metal. It looks very horror-ish. It looks like something that you would find in Blockbuster back in the 90s and 2000s, which is what we were going for. The blurb is engaging, it's short, it's mysterious, it kind of catches your attention. Skinwalker is the highest converting name of the actual shapeshifter. People don't really like shapeshifters too much, but Skinwalker works very, very well. So we have a very highly converting blurb, and the trailer is really good. I think the trailer is probably one of the better ones that we've made, if not the best trailer we have. So everything is there for people to see this cover art on these platforms, click on it, read the title and say, all right, like, people are going to die in a forest. They understand what they're getting. Then they look at the blurb and say, oh, Skinwalker. Oh, this is kind of cool. I don't really see a lot of shapeshifter Skinwalker movies. Let's give this one a shot. But first, let's watch the trailer. Then they watch the trailer. It's 1 minute of pure action. Yes, there are some spoilers in there, but you kind of get what you're looking for, which is a fun, fast-paced movie where people are going to, convert to a shapeshifter. You essentially have one of the characters, Roger, narrating in a very cinematic in a very cinematic way, the exact plot of the entire movie. And I think if you look at that cover, you look at that blurb, you look at that title, then you watch that trailer, I think you have a very good chance, if this is the kind of movie that you're looking for, which is like a fun, campy kind of horror movie, you're going to purchase this movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that combo is probably the most powerful combo I've seen. I love that trailer. Fantastic job. Also, something that we kind of mentioned before, we're just getting better at this process. And, we understand now that you need those trailer scenes. And Roger did a fantastic job narrating it to really kind of drive it home and really make it there. But I kind of want to, just harp on the reason that this is so important. I almost see this as kind of like our sale when it comes to like how good this movie does. And we talk about it all the time where we're going to have, the Discord give us a little shove, but the better the sale is, the better split tested all of these things are, that's when we really catch all of the organic. And that is when the real difference happens. Because again, the amount of money you make really when it comes to a purchase versus the amount of ads you spend to it is not that ideal when it comes to e-commerce and just the actual pay-per-click element to it. That being said, riding the algorithms and getting it very, very, attentive when it comes to just harnessing that momentum we have. And we saw it with The Haunting of the Murder House. in the sense of it becoming #1 new release on Amazon. But do you want to talk about how the whole purpose of this is just to take advantage of the millions upon millions upon millions of eyeballs that are there? And I think it's a misconception with a lot of indie filmmakers that you will get those, but typically if you're not that 0.1%, you're invisible.
Yeah, 100%. You really have to optimize for organic traffic. Listen, Amazon's going to take 50% of your revenue on TVOD. So they're literally taking 50% of your stuff to just process your payment and then give you organic traffic. And if you don't believe in organic traffic, then go put it on your website and you get to keep 100% of the profits and just drive traffic to your website. The benefit of excuse me, the benefit of Amazon is that when you put your stuff up there and you got to get this algorithm going, it will expose you to millions and millions, if not hundreds of millions of people on Amazon who are looking for movies. And that is why their 50% is worth it. So if you are not optimizing your movie to be as organic friendly as possible, then you're going to be in a lot of rough shape, because like Kel said, the math does not work. If you're selling something for $4.99, Amazon is taking the $2.50 and is costing you 30 or 40 cents a click. That math just does not work. What works for us is to push this thing very hard, let the algorithm take over, and then Amazon promotes it because they know, hey, this movie is good. There's a lot of people who like this movie. We can make $2.50 off this movie without doing any other work other than hosting it, and let's do it. But if you're a movie that does not have a good cover, does not have a good blurb, does not have a good trailer, you're going to be, it's an uphill battle to get that organic traffic. Amazon's going to say, hey, we're putting this movie out here. Not a lot of people are clicking on it. A lot of people are turning it off. Let's try and give another movie a shot because this one's just not working out. You have to put yourself in a place to succeed. I'm very confident with this launch because we spent a lot of time and a lot of effort the last 2 months getting all this marketing, materials done, really honing and making sure that everything is split tested, everything is ready to go. This movie is in the best place to succeed. Whether or not it's going to succeed, I don't know yet, because obviously it's not out, but I feel comfortable. We did as much as we possibly could. The only reason this one wouldn't succeed is people just don't like the shapeshifter concept, which is fine because, it's a 1.0 version. We didn't put a lot of money behind it. It was kind of a test movie. If it doesn't work out, it's like, all right, look, we learned something. We made another movie, and we know just not to go back to the shapeshifter concept.
For everyone listening, if it doesn't work out, I will delete the Discord. Just want to let you know we're very serious about this. But yeah, that's the case of it. We can do everything that we can, put ourselves in the best position to succeed, and whatever happens, happens. There's a lot of things that are out of your control, but we focus on what you can control. And I actually want to go ahead and change my analogy from the sail to a solar sail, in the sense that once we get into the atmosphere, into space, that's what's going to take us there. What's going to get us there? It's the Discord community. So this, I think, is what I'm excited for the most. How much of an impact can our community have when it comes to the launch of The Forest of Death? And I really want to stress this as much as I possibly can. It is something we're going to highlight throughout the week in the Discord community as well. But this could solidify why our model is going to be something we lean so heavy into, because it will allow us to take advantage of every single launch that we have from now until the end of DBS, which is a very long runway. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is the Haunted the Murder House. We had a lot of success with the Haunted the Murder House, and really the only different variable was our Discord community. Now, there's always a hard thing. Different movies, people like this one, people like that one. We knew they liked the Haunted of the Suicide House concept, so it's really tough to tell what moved what needle or the other needle. But what I can tell you is we did have more reviews on the Haunted the Murder House within the first week on Amazon than we did with the Girl in Cabin 13 at that point in time. And that we had about 7,500 Discord members at the time. We also had around, I think, like 150,000 TikTok followers. So we were just kind of getting into the groove. But I think the biggest thing is it snuck up on us a little bit too. We were expecting a time frame, and usually it's on the later end of the time frame. And, props to Indie Rights for getting it moving forward really quickly. They got it up there right away. Almost caught us a little bit by surprise. And the reason I say that is we were in the middle of casting. We were in the middle of launching a Kickstarter. So our focus were kind of all over the place. Now it's different. We have 18,000 people in our Discord community. Of that, we have an amazing group of hundreds of super fans who are very loyal to the DBS Films model, and they will be rewarded for this because this is the support that we need. But the big thing is this is our way to feed the algorithm in the best possible way. There is nothing that's going to move you up the charts more than someone renting your movie, watching the whole movie, and leaving a review. That is the three things that the algorithm's looking for and seeking. And if we are able, with our community, to show it exactly what we want to do in the sense of here's the start to the launch, this is really going to help catapult us to the top of those charts. So I'm excited for this because, again, if we can make this work as a community, then any movie we make, we have the new level of confidence. That new level of confidence means what? More roles, bigger movies, bigger budgets, benefits for everyone. And again, hey, might not work, could be the concept, could not be the concept. But if we can lock in on this variable of how much the community can help out, well, then we are set up for success the rest of our filmmaking process.
You know, I totally agree. And no matter what, we're always going to continue making movies. This movie could bomb and nobody would and watches, and you know, I lose all my money on this one. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm going to make another movie, and we're always going to reward the Discord community. We're always going to cultivate and grow the Discord community. That is our number one goal. It will always be our number one goal. That being said, if the Discord community can come out and really push this thing and show us how much, like a tangible value to how much we can push this thing to prove what, you know, what our hypothesis is that, you know, cultivating, rewarding, and building this community allows us to push our products and get more fans casted. If they can prove this hypothesis, then I will double, I will triple, I quadruple down on building this Discord, this community, and really take everything that this movie makes and put it right back into either making another movie with Discord members or doing Discord events. We just need to, you know, prove the concept. And I'm 100% sure it's going to work. I'm not concerned at all. If anything, if the movie's a little bit slow, it's just because of the concept of the movie, but it could be a game changer. And I really hope it is a game changer. I think having everyone ready to go, having our marketing stuff ready to go, having everyone as a DBS ambassador saying, hey, if I have a friend or family member or anyone with an Amazon account, every time they purchase that one, each little download comes back to us maybe tenfold. And that is such an important thing for us. It's such an important thing to just get this algorithm going, because once we get the algorithm going, we're going outside of the DBS fans. We're getting new fans. We're cultivating new people who like horror, who want to be in movies, but who maybe just never had a shot before. That is what we're going to try and do. And look, if you come out here on one of our movies, it's $150 is our day rate. I fly you out here. I put you up. That could be $500-600 worth of travel expenses. And all I'm asking for is $3. That's it. So your $3 could very easily, and it happened with a lot of other actors. We did it in the Roger Project. We did it with Into the Forest. We did it in Shapeshifter. We're going to do it again in Bigfoot. The $3 investment of you purchasing it, of you telling your friends and family to purchase it, could come back, what's that, 200 times? $600 for expenses, and you get to come out and hang out with me and Kellen. That's pretty much priceless. So look, anything you guys can do to support us, you know, share it, like it, buy it, do whatever you can. I understand money's tight right now, so I'm not going to force it. If you want to wait till it comes out on Tubi or one of these free platforms and watch it, that's great as well. I'm just really grateful for it, but I'm really excited to see how far we can push this with the Discord support, because I'm ready to just back up the Brinks trucks and really make it rain on the Discorded and you know, the community that we have.
I mean, that's really the case. And again, even just sharing our posts, even just putting it on Facebook, just doing all these little things to get the awareness out is super helpful. But yeah, I mean, that $3, $4 for the rental, guys, you get the Roll Force of Death launch team. That's something you can only get once in the Discord community. And I'm telling you, 10 years from now, when DBS is massive, we're making multi-million-dollar projects, we have multiple production teams, all of that fun, bells and whistles. We're going to look back. I'm going to see in the Discord, oh, wow, you supported us when we needed it the most. And I'm telling you, this is really when it matters. And it matters a lot because, again, as Brendan was mentioning, it's going to shift our focus. If the Discord is the reason why we are successful, why would we do anything else but reward the Discord? Just no reason to it. It's where it makes the most sense. That's what I love about our model the most, because our model benefits from us rewarding people in our community. When we have multiple production teams, where do you think we're going to get our directors, videographers, cinematographers, everything required for that? We're going to look in our community, because the more success stories our community can tell, the more people are going to learn about DBS Films and how unique we are. So this is just something that allows us to put a whole bunch of gasoline on the model. And again, I know we're going to have a lot of people who are really ready to go. We got a lot of people who have taken the Forest of Death pledge, which is absolutely super awesome to see. And the big thing with it, again, is this will allow us to really reward the Discord. This is really the first test. While, yes, we did have it for the Haunting the Murder House, and yes, it was a very successful launch. This is one where I feel like, because we've tripled in size, because we're focused in there, if we can really see a 2x, 3x, 4x launch from the Haunting of the Murder House, what's the only difference we have here? It's the Discord community to me. So that is really going to be my message here in that sense. But again, the more we come together as a community, the more we're going to go ahead and reward you. And we're super thankful for each and every one of you that are part of this process. I mean, it's absolutely amazing seeing where we were even just, a year and a half ago, where we had no fans. And now we have such a loyal, amazing community. And again, we're going to continue to make movies. This movie could go out there and for some reason glitch or whatever and not make anything. We're still going to keep on making movies. We're still going to keep casting. But if we are able to hit a home run with this, well, guess what? Everyone's taking a lap on the bases with us, because this is a team success when it comes to what we're doing here. So really kind of the last thing I wanted to mention or talk about when it comes to the Shapeshifter is, again, it sets the pace for the rest of the year. The hardest part with these movies to me, and the most frustrating part to me, is how slow everything is. I've talked about this multiple times. This is the slowest industry ever. We are basically like the Flash of this industry, and we move way too slow compared to most business models. It takes a long time to get your money recuperated. Again, we filmed this movie about almost a year ago now, and it's going to be a good chunk of time before, the first residuals really start coming in from the different platforms that are paying out. So there's a lot of different things, but really just to kind of reiterate, this shapes so many more movies. Yes, we could miss with this one and then pick it up with Into the Forest, pick it up with Roger Files and things like that. But if we hit the home run here, not only is it going to change what happens to Discord, it's going to change what happens to the movies we do. I mean, we'll immediately start talking about sweet 2.0 with this one. This is a great Discord movie. We're talking 8 to 10 roles hopping all around between Shapeshifters. So, what are really the outcomes of a very successful launch here for DBS?
Yeah, definitely could change the game. I mean, the baseline is to get the similar revenue that Murder House did. Murder House did so well that it pretty much paid for both the Into the Forest and the Roger Project. And Roger Project was a smaller production, but just the ability to release a movie and then get 2 movies out of that is, that is the flywheel in motion. So this one is super critical, because this year we're probably going to make The Girl in Cabin 13 and we're going to make Murder House. We got 2 more movies outside of the Bigfoot. Bigfoot's going to shoot in May, early June, and then we're going to shoot one probably August, September, and then one before Thanksgiving, all of which are going to have Discord members. That being said, if this movie comes out and takes off and we can get a huge budget, the zombie movie is in play. And we can we can literally cast 100 people to put in this movie. That is not a problem. I have been trying to make a zombie movie. We had a great proof of concept in the Roger Project. It looks absolutely phenomenal. So, that is on the table. But that's also saying, like, we can easily scale up Girl in Cabin 13. We can scale up Murder House. You can kind of do a found footage Whitlow Murder House kind of style thing where we want to have a haunted house with a lot of Discord members in there just getting killed and gutted, left and right. We could easily take our stuff, because they're so bare bones right now. Just adding 50% to the budget will allow us to bring in 10, 15 more people. We're going from 10 Discord members to 25 to 30, and we'll find roles for everybody. It's not a problem, especially if it's your first time. Get you on camera, get you comfortable, and see what you got. But it's just more locations, it's bigger budget, it's scaling up. We can get better equipment, everything on there. I don't think we need better equipment. I think we just need better locations, more special effects people, more talented people. I'd love to bring on people to help behind the camera as well, whether that's like a production assistant or script supervisor or just people who are eager to learn about the behind the camera stuff. Would love to do that stuff. I shy away from it now because feeding people is expensive, housing people is expensive, and transporting people is very expensive. That being said, if this movie takes off, we can scale up very quickly. It's not hard for me to do that because I'm ready to go. This is stuff that I want to do. I want to scale up. But right now, just because of how difficult it is, we're literally pinching pennies. But if we can get this movie to take off, I think you can see a huge step up. Like we mentioned before, Girl in Cabin 13, Murder House, and this movie are all in their own little tranche. And then you have Into the Forest and Roger Project in their little tranche. I think if we can get a bigger budget, I think that's the easiest way for us to scale up on the next one and really kind of, be able to compete with these $1 million movies. And that all starts with a successful launch of Forced Death.
Exactly that. And I think the last thing to really kind of talk about is, we saw it really with the last three, especially start with Girl in Cabin 13. The bigger these launches are, the more famous DBS becomes. And that means more people join the Discord. That means more people become active. And really, the people who are supporting us now are going to benefit from the community growing. So I think the biggest thing is not only the financial side of things, but also the awareness side of things. I think it's only a matter of time before we have multiple different types of people reaching out to us saying, hey, we love what you're doing here. We want to empower you. Can you do X, Y, and Z? And then, next thing we know, there could be some type of big deal that comes out of it. And you know what? We're going to demand, and we're not going to, there's no way anyone will ever tell us this is not the possible case. We will always cast from our Discord to some degree. So this is something where, not only is it something where it allows us to have a budget, it just solidifies our success and our models. It opens it up for so many more people to be part of the Discord. I mean, I know already people have been forming like just amazing friendships and things like that. And it's just a great way to get the publicity out there as well too. So it's not just that financial side of things that we also benefit from. A successful launch, well, then you have people writing articles. Who is this DBS film? They do what with their fans? And then before you know it, the snowball, it's there. It's happening. So, what are your thoughts on, because we've seen it with the Murder House and we've seen it with the Girl in Cabin 13, Murder House now probably has millions of views. And it is something where I can't tell you how many times when I'm on TikTok lives now, people will come to me and they'll say, I've seen your movie already.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. And Girl in Cabin 13 was the one that kind of, springboarded us. A lot of people watch that movie. When you got a #1 movie on Tubi, literally, it was probably watched 4 or 5 million times by now. So it's been watched an absolute ton. People were making TikToks of the movie. I always remember with Murder House, someone who had like 1 million followers made a short clip of the intro and just like, whoa, this movie's wild. And that was a person with a random person with just a huge TikTok following, screenshotted our movie, and it just randomly came up on my feed on TikTok. Like, that's wild. But this is the exposure that you get here. This is the exposure you get with DBS Films. All your stuff is going to be watched millions of times. I think we have 300,000 views on YouTube, closing in on that. Murder House has probably watched over 1 million minutes already on Prime and via TVOD. And the Tubi stuff has got to be close to 1 million. So you're looking at almost like 3 or 4 million eyeballs you're reaching, which is probably more than a lot of theatrical movies make it to. So we have a huge exposure, and exposure is absolutely critical because it obviously gets revenue, but it also gets new horror fans. Like I talked about before, getting more people into the Discord, whether it's actors, whether it's horror fans, anyone who wants to be part of this community is more than welcome. We are, extremely appreciative of every person who's in this community and everything that they do. But, that's what we want. We want to expose people to what we're doing and, help us, join the DBS army. And the people who are in it now, who have started from the beginning, are always going to be rewarded the most. We will never forget you guys, and anything that you can do, whether that is, preferred casting in some of our movies, making sure that everyone who's in the start of this stuff gets in the movies first, whether that's events, bringing back the OG Discord members to private events. Love to do one in Las Vegas. Go out to Brendan Theaters is like on the bucket list. Whether we talk about doing cruises or Halloween Horror Nights, I think the people who are in it now will always be rewarded first. And, the time is ticking. If we start to get really, really big, if you're not contributing as much, the time is now. Essentially, this is what we want to try and do. Get in on the ground floor is essentially what we want to try and do. That being said, we are thankful for everybody, whether they're old members, whether they're new members. We're just trying to build a really cool community that loves indie horror movies, that wants to be a part of indie horror movies, whether that's in front of the camera, in back of the camera, whatever you want to do. If you just want to come here and make friends, we will do whatever it takes to make everyone feel really welcomed and at home here, because I don't think a lot of people are doing this, especially not in the Hollywood system. And I think this is the community. It is what we're trying to do. It's how we want to build this business. And with the launch of Forest of Death, I think we could really scale this up.
I completely agree. Do not sleep on those DBS points, my friends, because they're only going to get harder and harder to get. And man, those perks of Carl's Club are going to just be infinitely worth it. So again, appreciative of every single person here. We are getting ready. Ideally, the movie isn't out yet, which means we are ready and it will be out tomorrow. We will be rallying the troops. All of your support means the world to us because, again, we make movies for our fans, with our fans. And we want to make a lot of movies, and the successful launch of The Forest of Death will get us there even sooner. But until then, have a good one.